Bienvenue à ChangeNOW and welcome to another exciting pitching session, this time on the theme of mobility. We've had already a number of exciting pitches this morning, for example, around the theme of water and ocean or agriculture. And we all know that once as humans we are well fed and we have enough to drink, there is another urge and need that we have in our life, which is to move. So mobility is essential to everyday life, to transporting goods, to transporting humans. It's connecting us and the world. And we are therefore really excited to be presenting to you 10 amazing innovations and entrepreneurs and representatives of mobility startups in just a moment. Before we move there, I would like to also warmly welcome our esteemed jury and give you maybe 20 seconds, very short and sweet, to introduce yourself. Just tell us who you are and who you represent, and we'll kick it right off.
Hi everybody, I'm Caroline Lebel. I'm an investor, part of the large venture fund of BPI France. It is a later stage investment fund within BPI France, so we invest a minimum ticket of 10 million euro for fundraising above 20 million euros. And of course, we have colleagues that can invest for earlier stage company.
Wonderful. Good to have you. Please.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Charles Fourreau. I'm a partner of Alliance for Impact Ventures. We are a seed and pre-seed fund based in Paris, investing across Europe.
Hi everyone, this is Peter from Tallano Impact Ventures. I represent a seed stage impact investment fund based in Prague, serving mostly Central and Eastern Europe. Happy to be here.
Wonderful.
Hi everyone, Félix de Carpentier. I'm VP CSR at CMA-CGM, a global leader in transport and logistics. At CMA-CGM, we have a great commitment to be net zero, and so I'm looking forward to hearing solutions that could help us to accelerate in decarbonization of transport and logistics.
Wonderful. You're at the right place, I reckon. Hello, welcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandy Snook. I'm a moderator and I train people to give powerful pitches.
Oh, okay. So critical eyes today. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Thomas Bruno. I'm project manager in Cleantech Open France. We help startups to develop their activity in France. Now we have 600 startups and 100 partners.
Wonderful. I conclude the round. My name is Matthias. I, besides my role as moderator, run an organization called Changemaker X Change. We support activists, social entrepreneurs, and innovators all around the world with connections, resources, and capacity building. Now, without further ado, I'd love to ask the first pitcher up on stage in just a moment. We are going through a 50-minute journey together, roughly, so I would like to tell you how we're going to go about this. Each of the people that come up here on stage will have 3 minutes. Pretty sharp, so don't take it personal if I approach you slowly, if your time comes to an end. Just to be fair, everyone will have the same time, and we have quite the tight schedule. We do 5, then a round of question and answers, so please get ready to ask away any questions you have. Then another 5, another Q&A, and then some time for networking. Yeah? All good? All right, then I would like to ask Mirko from shipzero up on stage. Your time to shine. Welcome.
All right, I hope this works, and thanks, Matthias, for the intro. And you already mentioned the topic of transporting goods from A to B. And we need to decarbonize by 3 billion tons until 2050. And this is quite crazy, especially when you notice that logistics is the only industry with still rising CO2 emissions. And you can imagine also the market being quite interesting, because if you put a price tag of around 100 euros per ton, that's quite some potential to unleash within the next decades. So what we do is we enable this decarbonization process. We are the emissions cloud to decarbonize global logistics. So for our clients, we enable them to track, to monitor, and to reduce their footprint. And they urgently need to, because the transformation is coming globally now, and there's still a huge lack of skills, first. Second, transparency, of course. And the third, comparability. And this, in a combination, leads to no reduction happening at all. Because if you want to invest into decarbonization, you want to see some number going down in return. You want to see a return on investment in your logistics footprint. And if you, for example, do this calculation on a spend-based and you spend more money for a green tariff, your footprint will go up, which is very, very weird when you think about it. So what we do is we connect those two parties, which usually don't speak to each other. That's the transport buyer on the one side and the transport operator on the other side. So we connect to the ERP systems, transport management systems for the shipment data. And on the other side, we connect to fleet data, so IoT data from trucks, for example, to get a very granular calculation of the footprint on a shipment level. We, of course, offer this as an end-to-end solution, meaning it's automated. You will be auditable from the beginning. You will cut your efforts from reporting and, of course, can analyze where to invest to decarbonize most efficiently. And, of course, we don't only scale impact. We also scale our customer base all over Europe at the moment, plus, of course, very important for us, also the data provider base to get this IoT data into the platform. Yeah, and last but not least, we are all in to spearhead this transformation and, of course, most importantly, enable our customers to get to those 8% reductions on a year-over-year basis to get to our 2 degrees goal. Thank you.
Wonderful. You can pass it on. Thank you. That was Mirko from shipzero, and right on time to the second. Now, next up is Jocelyn from Sanka Cycle. Your time to shine. Welcome.
Hi, really glad to be there with you. With Benoît Tolens, we founded Sanka Cycle because we state that automotive industry is not sustainable anymore. If electric car is today an answer, it is not the solution, because even the tiniest one is still 1 ton of material and 30k euros, so not affordable for everyone. So these two problems of size and weight come from one main issue, is that the daily car you use for your commute is oversized. How many times do you use the 3 seats at the back? How many times do you full speed, full range? Not so much for daily commute. But you still have to use it. You have no other option. In the cities, it's quite different. Thanks to the infrastructure, you can take the public transport, you have some way to do cycle, and you can see that more and more people are cycling because it makes them happier and healthier. But outside the cities, where there's no infrastructure, car. So this is where we focus at Sanka, to bring an alternative that we call Bob. Bob is a quadricycle bike. It is safe to ride thanks to the 4 wheels, the body, the visibility that you have. It is comfortable thanks to the seat, the back where you can put your groceries, your children's, and it is joyful to ride. It's a bike. About the market, the tiny car we want to replace, it's actually 500,000 cars that have been produced and sold in France. And to access to this market, what we'll do is to sell that to local authority, because they are the most aware about their problem of mobility in their territory. They want to change that, and actually, they have state subsidies to achieve their goal. And they already know how to do that, because this is what they do with their e-bike float that they rent. And we start now. Next week, we will release our first prototype. We will sell experimentation this year. Next year, we'll sell experimentation of the service during 1 month. And by 2 years, in 2026, we'll be ready to launch our first fleet. We start with a bike because it's a simple product. And it allows us to avoid long period of R&D. So we will try the market really soon. And then we will improve our Bob with new functionalities, going in longer distance, wider, hilly mountains. So if you want to join the adventure and change that, mobility industry is about to be sustainable. We have to finance the next fleet. So if you're interested.
Thank you very much. That was Jocelyn from Sanka Cycle presenting the Bob. I'd love to try it, actually. It looks fun. Theodore is next from Qaptis. Welcome.
Hi everyone, so I'm Theo, CEO and co-founder at Qaptis. At Qaptis, we are developing a mobile carbon capture for heavy-duty vehicles. This sector is facing a significant challenge. It emits around 10% of the global carbon footprint and it consumes around 41% of the fuel in Europe. And if we start selling diesel trucks today, it will require 25 years to decarbonize the entire fleet. There are three main reasons to that. The first reason is that low carbon emissions such as electric and hydrogen, they are substitution products. So there is no retrofitting solution on the market. Secondly, it will require implementation of the new infrastructure, which will take decades. And thirdly, new vehicles like electric and hydrogen, they cost 3 times more than a diesel trucks. That's why we focus on a retrofitting solution called mobile carbon capture, which there are 3 main steps. The first step is that we connect it to the exhaust pipe and we recover the heat. And we will use this heat in order to run our system. Running our system means capturing selectively the CO2 and compress it to reach the liquid form. So at the end of the day, we have liquid CO2 on a storage tank, and we can capture up to 90% of the CO2 emission. What does it mean for the transporters? So first of all, with our strategic partner, we did a business case, and it's an improved profitability due to tax refund, for example, in Switzerland. So 6% in transportation cost. Secondly, as I have mentioned, it's about a massive CO2 reduction up to 90%. Both combined result in a long-term competitiveness and also market access for their client. So what we have done so far is that we have done our first prototype. We are now building our second prototype, and we want to build our first mobile onboard prototype on a Renault truck in 2025. Then we want to start implementing our first product, 10 units, in 2026, and implementing the manufacturing methods 2027 to be ready for expansion in 2028 and 2029. So we are currently 8 employees, so 7 full-time employees. Masoud and I, we are the co-founder, and we rapidly expanded the team heavily on the R&D side because we are still under R&D. And we are supported by a strong investor, for example, Cargill, who can be also our potential first customer. They own around 5,000 trucks. So we've done also our seed round with Blackwood, Plug and Play. We are EPFL spin-off, and we want to raise our seed round 2 million, so end of June. Thank you very much.
Yeah, wonderful. Please, you can pass it on. Thank you. That was Theo from Qaptis. Next up is Francesco from Voltage. Please, welcome.
Hi, everybody. I am Francesco from Voltage. And at Voltage, we make EV charging easy for companies, their employees, and the charging points owners. So electric vehicles have been already identified as one of the solutions to decarbonize transportation. And yet, still to this date, we have places in Europe where it's impossible to find a charging points for 100 kilometers of road. This is typical in rural areas like rural France that you can see in the photo. But at Voltage, we found a solution for this. We tell private and public charge point installers exactly where to install charging points in less urbanized areas, where people need them, and when there is a good return of investment. So how do we do this? We have discovered a system. Essentially, we map the companies in a territory and the need for charging of their employees. we elaborate the data, and we sell it to energy utilities that install charging stations, telling them precisely where to install those charging points for today and for tomorrow. We monetize this system with €10 per charger per month to the charge point owner and a 5% transaction fee to the charge point users. This system is already in place in 2 regions in France for 4,100 charging points. We already have the supports of the government and the Agency for the Ecological Transition. And we already have signed deals for 300 more charging points that will be installed using voltage data. But our biggest KPI, the one we are most proud of, is our impact. With our suite of software, we already help companies reduce their CO2 with 4,200 tons, but we expect this number to skyrocket to almost 30,000 within the next 2 years. We are now fundraising to extend this system from 2 regions to the entire country, and later all Europe and the world. We cannot expect a fast transition to electric vehicles if we don't have the right infrastructure, and that not only in cities, but anywhere. So if you want to know more about what we do, me and my co-founder, Edo, will be here after the end of the pitching session. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Francesco from Voltage, making things happen. Antonio is next from LIUX. Welcome on stage. Your 3 minutes start now. Hello.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Antonio. I'm one of the co-founders of LIUX. And basically, our mission is to build the most sustainable vehicle car on the planet. We started this project 2 years ago with a huge experience from my co-founder and our team. And basically, if you're here, you know the problem, so I'm going to skip it. But we've analyzed the European market. There's some crazy data. 97% of daily trips from private drivers are shorter than 100 kilometers. The average occupation of cars in Europe is 1.3 people per car, and 80% of the times people go by themselves. And so this makes this adjustment between the offer and the demand in the market, we believe. So we've placed ourselves in the L7 category, which are light urban cars. We believe make a lot of sense when we think about the kind of mobility that people in Europe are looking for. Why would you want a car with 5 seats and designed to travel 600, 700 kilometers when 97% of the time you don't need that? So basically, we've developed 3 different technologies in order to make a car really sustainable. So the first one is a composite technology. Basically, it's similar to a carbon fiber, but it's made with linen and with 100% recyclable resin. So we have a material that has a crazy performance in terms of CO2, massive reduction compared to any other material. It's quite competitive in price. It's made in Europe. And in terms of weight reduction, the performance is quite good. So in the overall analysis, this material is quite amazing for the kind of industry we're in. Then we've developed a 3D printing system to print the production molds for this kind of materials. Since we don't do metal stamping, we don't need such huge infrastructure and investments. So our molds of production can be made in thermoplastics with 3D printing, much faster and much cheaper. And then we've developed this system of modular batteries, which has many advantages. I'm going to tell you after because my time is running. So we reduce 50% of the weight compared to a Smart, 40% improve in energy efficiency, 40% reduction in CO2 footprint, and 30% reduction in the cost of ownership in the whole life cycle of the car. This is a market that is growing massively, 50% worldwide since between 2020 and 2022, and the projection is it will grow to triple market size by 2032. Great team, and we're raising 9 million euros. We have already committed 6 million euros from industry investors, and thank you so much.
Wonderful. And you can actually stay with me, please. Stay.
Sorry.
And I'd love to ask the other 4 pitchers to come rejoin me on stage as well for a little Q&A. And maybe to my right, please, so the camera can capture us all. Wonderful. Okay, back to you, dear jury, and ask away any questions that you have for these gentlemen. Please.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question for LIUX. You say the market, etc. Do you already have your first customers for your product?
Yeah, one of our investors is OK Mobility, which is a car rental group from Spain. They are the first buyer in units in Spain. They buy around 40,000 cars per year. And so they're a strategic investor and first customer. But we already have more customers up to half the production of the first year, which is the one that goes to B2B. And the B2C production slot, we're going to open in September. So, but the B2B is already fully sold.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. More questions. And that was perfect, short and sweet, because we have a lot of questions. So.
Okay, I have a quick question for Theo, Qaptis. What is the volume captured of CO2 by your system and the autonomy of the system? I would say the length the vehicle can ride.
Yes, so basically we can capture 2 kilos of CO2 out of 1 liter burn. So it's more or less 500 kilos per cycle before that we need to discharge it to the station. So let's say, yes, 500 kilos, which means 600 to 800 kilometers.
Maybe a quick question for Sanka. How do you address certification for this new kind of cars that you are putting on the road?
Because it's a bike. It's a bike.
Good answer. Thank you.
Because we have 4 wheels, there's things we have to change in the law. So that's why we created an association called Aveli that is gathering all the people who are doing the same thing to have more impact on regulation and things like that. But as I said, we choose to start with a simple product because there's not so much regulation around it.
Quick follow-up question? Or?
What's the speed limit of the bike?
A bike is 25. Yeah.
You don't make a speed pedelec.
And speedelec is 45, but you have more regulation about. And when at the end, when I say we will go in the future to other kind of vehicle, it's speed pedelec.
Yeah, quick question for Zip0. Can you come back on your business model and who is actually paying and how much is the license, please?
So licenses go from 500 per month up to around 10, 12,000 per month. Paying is the one who buys transport or who operates transport because they both have the same problem of intransparency and need to report. And business model is data as a service, so pretty much per shipment with different modular top-ups.
I'd like to come back to Qaptis. I'm interested about the technology. Is this your own carbon capture technology, or using existing one and adopting it to the heavy-duty vehicles? And like, what is the next thing for you to retain your competitive edge?
Yes, so basically we are building our product and we are having different modules which exist into the market. So we have patented the architecture. And so our innovation, in order to miniaturize it, it's on the heat recovery system. So it's really like we can take the heat, recover heat, and use it almost fully to run our system. And this enables us to put it on the moving vehicle. So this is what we want to do. Then, of course, it has a certain volume. So then, in order to sustain competitive advantage, we need to even further decrease it. So by doing specific R&D projects, more on the compression side. Yeah.
A quick question for Francisco, Voltage. How do you identify actually the location of your charging points, and are you using data from the OEM actually?
So essentially, we sell companies electric vehicles management software. So every time they use a vehicles within that company, we receive the data of where they are parking, which charging station they are using. And then we give that data to the energy utilities. We elaborate it, and we tell them exactly where to install. The interesting part is that then the energy utilities distribute our suite of software to companies in the territories because they want more data like this.
Wonderful. Any more questions? Okay. In that case, I would say please raise your hands. Big round of applause for the first 5 pitches. Thank you so much. Welcome anyone that joined us in the last few minutes. We are halfway through the pitching session in the theme of mobility, and we have 5 more wonderful entrepreneurs and change makers to go. And without further ado, I'd love to welcome the first one up on stage, which is Olivier from Zenride. Please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Olivier Sali from Zenride, co-founder and CEO. What Zenride is about, Zenride is a social benefit that allows any employee to have a bike for the daily commute. Services included like insurance, assistance, maintenances, just for €1 per day. Everything else is subsidized by the employer, and that allows people like Armel from the IFF company to really enjoy a daily ride to go to work. Behind the scene, we have about 1,000 partnerships with bike dealers and on the other side, 100,000 activable employees from our customer base. We have built an in-house tech that allows to edit a leasing contract with the employer and refinance it automatically. That's how it works. And that pays off because so far we have converted about 6,000 riders from our customers from 400 companies, and we are growing, we are doubling 100% every year. What Zenride is really about is an ambition to grow the bike share of transportation in France. France has an objective to go up to 12% of bike share in 2030, and we want to contribute to that. We do that by tackling the financial issues. An e-bike costs on average €2,000. It's almost the median revenue in France. So if we want to put a maximum of people on a bike, we need to tackle this issue, and we do it with a leasing contract subsidized by the employers. And we have the means to achieve this ambition because we have already done a Series A, and we are planning a Series B because we know it can be a multi-billion business as it is already in Germany and some other countries. What sets us apart is first having an impact. We have learned that we help mostly people to transition from cars, and especially outside major cities. That's where the bike revolution happens, in my opinion, in the territories, in the regional areas. We have strong unit economics. That's the magic of the leasing business model. We know exactly where we earn money. And we've learned to accompany large corporations to deploy large fleets, especially at Saint-Gobain, Veolia, Safran, or other industrial partners. And last but not least, it's really a scalable model because we have done partnership with bike dealers that ensures all the daily operations, and we have been the tech to refinance everything automatically. So at the end of the day, Zenride is 50 people highly motivated to boost the employer brand of our customer, to help them reduce their carbon footprint, and save employees money and improve their work-life balance. Thank you.
Wonderful. That was Olivier from Zenride. Up next is Mark from Trainscanner. Stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Mark, co-founder of Trainscanner. And before starting, I would like to ask you one question. Do you think it's normal to pay 4 times more train tickets for the same train in the same class? I'm not sure. But that's what's happening currently if you try to travel to Berlin and buy blindlessly on SNCF Connect. That's one of the many examples that make European train travel a nightmare currently. indeed, today when you want to book a flight ticket, you just have to browse Skyscanner, Google Flight, and have access to the best fares in 2 clicks. But that's not the case for train. That's a shame, because we know that the environmental pressure has never been so big, and that train travel is environmentally friendly. I mean, in France, the gap is huge. A TGV, electrical one, is emitting 2 kilograms by kilometer by person, where a plane emits 100 times more. In France, transport in general is emitting almost a third of our emissions, so that's huge, and train has a potential to decarbonize that. So basically, what we want to do with Trainscanner is becoming the Skyscanner of train. We are not hiding from it. We want to connect the whole European companies, allowing you to travel seamlessly by train, making train competitive again on many European routes. And more and more companies are joining the market. You have Wigo that is in Spain today. Wigo will be in Italy soon, and many operators are coming to France too. So the complexity is getting higher. Basically, to do this, we will use what made the success of airlines, allowing customers to compare their travel, to have an access to historical price data, and have visuals of their cabins. Currently, the platform is live. We bootstrap a platform on train-scanner.com, and we are looking for some fundings to get bigger and go live and sell tickets on Trainscanner. So today we contractualized with more than 12 operators. We are building the platform, and we are just missing some funds to make it big. So if you are interested and you want to know why SNCF Connect is more expensive too, come have a chat.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Very useful. Next up is Hisham from Anywhere.
Hello everyone, I'm Hisham Najjar. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Anywhere. So, when you are an Amazon driver, a taxi driver, or a forklift operator, they all have the same issue. It's recharging time of their electric vehicles. It takes too much time, 30 minutes. During those 30 minutes, they don't make money. When you are an operator of a truck driver, a truck operator like you at CMA-CGM, if you have an electric truck, you're going to have an issue with weight. While you carry the weight of the battery, you cannot carry the weight of your goods. So there's going to be an economical challenge. Today, hydrogen could become the solution to that. Hydrogen is zero emission. It offers you long driving range, fast charging time, and it's light. According to Plastic Omnium, in 2030, 65% of the hydrogen fleet will be trucks, buses, like commercial vehicles. 35% will be light-duty cars. So the question is, if hydrogen is so nice, so good, why are we not using hydrogen anywhere today? Simply for 2 reasons. One is the cost; it's too expensive, and it's not green. More than 95% today of hydrogen is grey, and it's too expensive. You are far away from parity. Incumbent like Shell, Total, and I can say about that because I work for both companies, and I was leading one of the leaders of the hydrogen business unit at Shell for 15 years. They do large stations. They try to reach the economy of scale by doing something big, massive. But the market is not there yet. The trucks are not there. The vehicles are coming, just a few of them. So you will not reach parity very fast. So at Anywhere, we have chosen another pathway. We developed a containerized solution, which is a product which is compact, easy, and quick to deploy. We produce green hydrogen on site at the right capacity, targeting the fuel parity. And you can see some example here at Bosch or at one of our customers in France. At the heart of our unique solution, a unique combination. We produce on-site with an on-site electrolyzer. We have an exclusive compressor, and we adapt our high-pressure storage. And this comes also with a strong collaboration with OEMs, with the car manufacturers or the truck manufacturers. And this will help us solve the chicken and egg problem. So we have been incorporated in 2021 by experienced co-founders from Shell and the energy players. We are now a team of 15 persons. We have raised 5 million pre-seed in 2022, and we are supported by BPI France and many others. So we already deployed 2 stations in France, one at a vineyard, and we would like to become the leader of hydrogen mobility. Thank you so much to all.
Okay, wonderful. You can pass it on. Thank you, Hachem from Anywhere. And up next, without further ado, is Olivier from Zplug.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Olivier. I'm the managing director for Zplug in France. By now, you know the problem. 30% of greenhouse gases emissions due to transportation, out of which 2/3 cars. And we believe at Zplug we are easing the switch to EV by easing the charging. Easing the charging, especially in condominiums. We started with condominiums. Perhaps have you ever wondered how you charge, if you live in an apartment, how you charge in your public car park? Have you ever seen a plug in your car park? So this is where we help, because there's a lot of issues and pain points. Who pays for the infrastructure? And for those who are French, you may have encountered the journey of validating something in a general assembly. Who manages the billing if John charges for 5 hours, Paul for 3 hours? And who maintains the equipment? So basically with Zplug, we have developed a solution that is now a leading solution in France. We basically ask for internet fiber. We invest in an infrastructure in car parks. So this is zero upfront cost for the condo and the households. It's all inclusive because we'll provide the charge points, but also the subscription for the electricity, the service, the technical assistance. It's end-to-end. We manage the validation in the general assembly, the installation, the run. And it's green, of course, with green electricity and affordable. We are honored to be offering electricity tariffs that are lower than the regulated price. We're today proud to be a leader in EV charging in condos. 15K condos have chosen Zplug, which is around 1 million places. And we launched 3 years ago our company business. So basically, we're helping, as for my colleagues, businesses to go EV. We're honored to be part of the French Tech Next 40. We are 300 team member team, and we're going Europe. So 5 countries, UK, Germany, Spain, Portugal, and Italy are launching this spring. And we're backed up by solid financial partners. Our impact in 2023, and this is where I leave you, but we really want to drive more. 10K more tons of CO2 avoided, 4.6 liters of fuel saved. So this is a switch to EV that we want to ease and that we're easing every day. Thank you.
Wow. You can pass it on. Yeah, no, you can pass it on to the next. Thank you. That was Olivier from Zplug with some impressive numbers there at the end. Now, next up is Muriel from Tallano Technologies. Your time to shine.
Hello, everybody. So, just to warm up, I have a question for you guys. Do you have a solution to get rid of the dust in your house when your house is dirty? Of course you do. You're just cleaning and vacuuming your house. It looks simple. Okay, another question. Do you have a solution for your car or the metro, the bus you take in the morning to vacuum the dust that is generated by your braking system? No, no solution. Why? That's a tricky question. This is why we created Tallano Technologies with a huge ambition to reduce the pollution linked to the emission of fine particles. Did you see that all these gentlemen are talking about the NOx CO2 emission? I'm going to talk about non-exhaust emission. Wake up, because this is something that nobody is aware of. So let's move forward. Just to understand the criticity and how important is it for your health, just a few figures. I'm not going to read everything, but just remember that fine particles are just decreasing your life expectancy by 8 years, just because you are subject to fine particles that nobody can see it. It's not because we can't see them that they don't exist. It's like the electricity, you don't see it, but it has an impact. So you can read that today, on the road, 80% of the emission of fine particles are generated outside the tile pipe. Everybody is talking about the tile pipe, but the brakes and the wheels are generating most of the fine particles. Issues, health, cancer, eczema, asthma, and a lot of disease. Alzheimer is as well generated by particles emission. And in the environment, it goes on the rivers and in the waters. This is why we invented TAMIC. You can see some example of the application here. It's true for railways, underground, cars, city buses, and so on. The system is quite simple to explain. We are absorbing, sucking, retaining the fine particle the closest as possible from the source of emission. It means we go inside the brake, inside the pad, and we suck the particles by creating a depression with a kind of a big intelligent vacuum system. And by the way, this vacuum system is retaining up to 85% of the fine particles, PM10, 2.5, 0, 1, and 1 particles generated by the braking system. Our company, simple, in a few words, you have one of the key figures of the company that probably most of you know now. Thank you. I have one word to say, and I will say it loud. When we put the braking system of TAMIC, you can breathe. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And you can actually stay with me, please. And I'd like to ask the other 4 pitchers to come join me as well on the stage for a Q&A. And don't be shy. Thank you. Let's all come together. Basically a Dyson for the environment. Wonderful.
Well said. I don't want to promote them, but well said.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, same procedure as last time. We have about 7 to 8 minutes for questions, and off we go.
Yeah, I have a question for a Trainscanner. I wonder, like, how did you hack the problem that the other aggregators, the existing aggregators, mobility aggregators, didn't hack it? Like, what's your secret source there? And second question is, what's your go-to-market?
So most mobility aggregators are aggregating different mode of transport. We are focusing on train. So we'll be the best on train, and we'll not lose time by developing some intermodal features. Basically, our go-to-market is to focus on travel first. So cross-border travels, families, businesses who have to travel cross-border and offer them a solution, and then expand. We'll attack this niche because it's easier. It's not deserved at all, and it's what we plan to do. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Next question.
I have a quick question for Muriel Tallano. Well, first one is, do you have some regulation that can help the adoption of the system? And the second one is, what mobility medium are you targeting at the moment?
Thank you for that question. That's lovely. It's arriving right on time because Euro 7 was just validated by the European Parliament. It's under signature by the Conseil de l'Europe. And this is the first time that Europe is regulating fine particles. And the application date for the light-duty vehicles will be in 2028, basically more or less, and 29 and 30 for the heavy duties. And strangely, it will be regulated for the duties after, but our high target is focusing on the buses inside the cities, the fleet of the garbage truck, the fleet of the last miles is really hotspot with the metros underground because it's where you have more pollution.
Thank
and
you.
BPI is part of our dear shareholders. Thank you.
I have a question for Anywhere. What is your vision for the next 3, 5, and 10 years for your solution for hydrogen, please?
So it's a vast. Can you hear me? Yeah. It's a very big question. You're asking me about the future of hydrogen. Okay. So I'll tell you about my experience. I've been running the hydrogen business since 2013. So I created H2 Accelerate, the big consortium for trucks. Hydrogen trucks are coming. That's for sure. Batteries that cannot do the job. So this is coming when they're already late. The rest of the vehicles are also coming, but again, they are late. So that's why we try to do something at the size of the fleet, at the size of the demand, because if you try to build something which is too big today, then you will waste a lot of money and a lot of resources. So I think the market is going to grow a lot. That's for sure. There's quite a consensus on that. All the OEMs are working on hydrogen solutions in complement to batteries. So let me be completely transparent with you. If you can use battery, please use battery. It's more efficient. But there's some usage where battery cannot do the job. Trucks, last mile delivery, forklift. Where there is a TCO issue, hydrogen is going to make the job. So we work today on those vehicles, trucks, light duty, LCVs, airplanes, ships. So all these businesses will be addressed by hydrogen. So the market's expectation is huge. The question is it going to start tomorrow or after tomorrow? That's why we try to do small stations adapted to the size, already at the right price. So we target parity with diesel very, very fast. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Next question.
Maybe a question also for Anywhere. You said that you want to do small size production facilities, but you still depend on the price of electricity, no, to generate. So, and it's a large part of the price of hydrogen, more than half of it. So, how work your business model, and how it's better to do it small, where a lot of your final price will become from energy?
Okay. Electricity price is going to be the same for everyone. So your question is, do we do electrolyzer or do we do gas SMR? I've chosen electrolyzers. So on the other question is, where do you reach economy of scale? Is it on the electricity price being massive? If you do that, then putting more than 250 kVA, you go behind the tariff yellow in France. So it's many years before you get a cable. So that's why our station is designed below 250 kVA, so that you're in yellow tariff. You can plug your hydrogen station anywhere. That's how we design the station. So price of electricity is going to be capped soon to 110. So I'll let you do the math. You know about that, I'm sure. So we're going to be competitive. And besides of that, we are talking about green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is the Renewable Energy Directive, RED 2, RED 3. So the renewable attributes of hydrogen has a strong value. And we are expert in that because we are two in the company as associate. We both come from the energy players. We know how to value these credits, and they have a strong value. So we can reach parity very fast.
Wonderful. Thank you. Other questions? Yeah?
The question for the two Olivier, actually, but maybe I can start with Olivier Ziplug. What is the average utilization rate you need to be profitable, and do you have a kind of coverage in case this utilization rate is not reached?
So basically, we would more think in terms of how many users we would have in a car park. Basically, we would make money from 5 to 6 in a car park. But today we are present in, very high number of car parks in the West Parisian districts. So this is where our key challenge today, and this is where what I'm repeating to the teams is how do we make sure we can really densify those car parks?
Wonderful. Maybe one more? follow-up?
Last question, maybe for Olivier Zenride. Do you have, I would say, a regulation that help the adoption actually of the bike companies?
Yes, the scheme is helped by the tax deduction for the companies. So of 100% of monthly rent, usually the employee pays 30%, that's about €1 a day. And on the 70% that subsidize the company, they have a 25% tax deduction, so about 17.5% from the state and 52.5% from the company. So it's really a win-win-win partnership.
Wonderful. Okay, very good. Please put your hands together for these wonderful entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for what you do, and good luck with achieving all your goals and dreams. Now, one last tiny thing for the jury to do is to vote your coup de cœur, meaning one pitch that you particularly like that you want to send to the main stage again. And then for all the pitches and the jury members, you have the chance to do a little networking, mixing and mingling in the network area. And at 2:30, for the rest of the audience, we are going to continue with another round of exciting pitches, this time in the field of health. So we'll be back here very shortly. 2:30. Thank you.